Hi everyone, in today's video we'll be having a look at perhaps a bat that will never see the shelves due to the sandpaper suspension of David Warner. Friend Tassie Tiger has sent in a 2018-2019 Gray Nicolls Kaboom. Please click like and also subscribe to the channel. Also hang around to the end of the video for review links and playlists that you may not have seen. Don't forget to also check out my Facebook page in the links below. Let's get into it. Alright, the bat seemed to be obscured by some sandpaper there, unfortunately. This is actually the 2018-2019 Gray Nicolls Kaboom, and it's probably not going to get released. This has got the new 2018-2019 stickers on it, as you can see here, and it's even got what I just demonstrated in another bat, this weird feature going on with the stickers where they're not glossed all the way up to the edge, they're actually matte on the side. That's not supposed to be like that, and it's more obvious when you see the front sticker. So this is actually a sales sample that a collector in Tasmania has actually purchased of what the bat may be if it gets released. So this is definitely the last of the Kabooms. So what differentiates this from the model we reviewed just recently? This has a U on it, which means it's been manufactured late last year. It's got a square toe. The actual edge here peaks at 40 and the spine peaks, oh, let me have a look at that. Well, this is an easier way to do it. It pretty much peaks right on the legal width, as you can see there. So that thing peaks at 67, 68, and we've got a few mil there, but as we head towards the top we've got a tiny little bit of concaving. And we've got the 5mm power curve camber on the face. So this is the player's edition. This would be the most expensive one, $899. Grain wise, this particular bat, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we've got this massive knot going on here on the outside edge with a little bit of heartwood. But it's definitely what you'd call player willow, and the reason is just the softness of the willow. So I'm going to tap this up. And it's just pinging everywhere. The shape itself, aesthetically, I'm not sure about it. It looks pretty plain Jane to me with just a square toe. Balance wise, it's really well balanced. Balances pretty much on about 50 to 51 centimeters. A little bit on the heavier side, more of somebody who's going to be a hitter. It's a mid to mid-high blade, and that bat is, well, it's pretty much convex. Now, as far as the stickers, obviously that's the big change. You got more black rather than silver highlights of the last seasons. There is still some silver here. Next time you see it, it's going to be prepped. We'll have another look at it. Alright, this is the post knock, and it's had a scuff sheet applied all the way down to the base of the toe. There's a Shugu toe as per the new process. Edge tape over the scuff. That's my preference, because at least you can remove the edge tape if it gets a bit damaged and replace it. The scuff sheet over the top, the scuff actually gets damaged, but this scuff is good enough to be on its own, but putting a little bit of edge tape over it just sort of disguises that little knot. Fairly good knot. Scuff sheet's just been applied, giving the stickers a bit of a clean up. So all in all, what do I think? It's got heaps of ping on it. See what the weight is, and I'll flash up the old weight just to compare it. 210.4. Alright, let's give it a tap up. And it will definitely sound a lot harder than it did before, because it's been knocked now. Starting at the toe. Really pings off that hard bar there. Not every bat does though, just don't go out looking for hard bars thinking they're all going to ping. This one's a very, very slight pin knot that travels through and ends out there. Much thicker pin knot would probably be dead. So it's pinging all the way up to the stickers, and that's because of that long edge that takes that metal and extends it. Basically from where you see the spine start, from a mid-low, mid-high to high, it's got aesthetically not pretty, and it doesn't have 20 grains. Don't get too hung up on grains, guys. Like 8 to 10 is enough. You get more grains, that wood gets harder, and it doesn't necessarily mean more ping. It means that the willow is actually probably older and drier. Might look nicer, but it doesn't necessarily perform better. These bats are definitely picked as player willow on their performance over their aesthetics. So that's something to note. And definitely through the grading process they might have, well, I heard this season was like 2,000 clefts, and they'll grade what they think are the best performing clefts, grade 1. So what is player's willow? It's the willow that pings. It's not necessarily the best looking willow. The player will take out whatever the bat maker really gives them in the end. They make 7 bats, they might pick 5 of them. They're not going to reject them. They're not paying for them. Not sure if I like the decals. I guess, yeah, maybe I do, I don't know. Maybe black looks a bit bolder. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the flat toe. It's just an extra area where there's nothing supporting it down in these corners. You mistime a shot, go full-blooded, hit that, particularly on hard wicket or artificial turf, then that's just going to snap off, and that's just the way it is. I've tried as much as possible to prevent damage by preventing moisture from getting in, but at the end of the day, this is the weakest part of the bat, and if it doesn't crack there when you're hitting it down there, it might crack up here, because it's all together. It's the vibrations that will just travel up to the handle and snap that part. Let's turn the camera around and we'll bounce the ball on it. So as usual, I'm going to start out with this really old 4-piece ball. But mid-low, it's not bad at all. Dukes. And near the toe, nothing really there, but you can see it sort of going from that mid-low to mid-high, which basically follows that edge profile. Alright, let's have a look whether or not there's any dents on it. There's no deep dents anywhere on the willow, just some minor indentations in the scuff. This is ready to take into the nets and start the process of playing it in. Really nice bat, Kaboom Players Edition for 2018-2019, which may or may not be released. Distinctive stickers were supposed to come out, and unfortunately because of the sandpaper gate we may not see this bat, but maybe it's had its time as well. Time for something different next season. Everything changes. So that's the Kaboom. Thank you very much to Tassie Tiger for sending this over. Really appreciate your support, and I think you've got a real gun of a bat there.